Hello and welcome to Loopville TCG. Today we're going to be talking about the Grade 1 Top 7 searches. Keep in mind, this video is not necessarily aimed for players at a very top level. This is more an explanation of things that top level players should already know. However, even if you are a top level player, we will be going into some exact percentages, and so it still might be interesting for a quick watch. A lot of clans have been getting these top 7 searcher type cards, where on place you can look at the top 7 cards of your deck and add up to one of 2 targets to your hand. Now it's important to note that for this I'll be talking only about the Grade 1 top 7 searches, as they are pretty much the same between all clans. They do all have a rearguard skill, which is obviously clan dependent, but the first skill always checks the top 7 and always has one of 2 targets that it can grab. So how are we using them? Well, since Quorum Magus' release in the Misaki Tokura Kral deck back in early 2019, a lot of cards have had abilities where when they are written on the Vanguard Circle, you can choose to do their skill first or your draw first. Top 7 searches are no different in this sense, but the way to use them correctly comes down to a lot of statistics. So let's get into that now. So for all of these scenarios, we're going to be starting the turn where you have 5 cards in hand, you draw 1 card for turn, and then we're going to be looking at it from there. Furthermore, in all these scenarios, we are counting any of the targets as a success. So if you play a deck such as Shiranui, where you want only Stealth Dragon Shiranui and not Shiranui Oboro in your hand early game, then this will apply less, but it will still help you get the success rate that you probably are wanting.
As well as this, we're assuming that you're on 8 of the targets that your searcher can grab.
So, starting it off easy, we're going to be going into our turn with 5 cards in hand. As we draw for turn, we will then ride our top 7 searcher. At this point, you can choose if you would like to draw first, or if you would like to check the top 7 first. In the first scenario, you do not have any of your targets in hand. The current odds of you doing the top 7 search and hitting at least one of them is about 79%. If you were to draw first, however, and the draw was not one of your targets, these odds would increase to around 83%. However, if you draw first and the card that you drew is one of your targets, then your odds dip down to 75%. This 5% drop may not seem like a lot, but it's very likely in the first place that you will be able to get your card from the top 7. Therefore, doing the skill first is usually advised if you do not have any of those cards in hand. Furthermore, by adding the card to your hand, you now have a higher chance to draw other cards in your deck. Does this mean triggers? It has to, unfortunately. But it also means other cards in your deck that you would want to draw, you also get a higher chance of drawing. Now, for this next scenario, we'll be going over if you have one of your targets in hand. Because this could go on for a while, I'll be stopping it as 1 in hand, because at the point that you have 2 or more in hand, regardless of pretty much anything, it's statistically better for you to draw first. So in this scenario where you have one of your targets in hand, if you ride and do the skill first, you are on roughly a 74% chance of success. However, if you draw first and the card you draw is not one of your targets, your odds increase to only 75%, so only a 1% difference. However, if you draw and it is one of your targets, then your odds decrease even further to 69%, which is quite the drop. At this point, it may sound like it's always better to go for the top 7 first. However, as I said earlier, 2 or more of the targets in your hand before you do either skill is already so many out of deck that it is worth drawing first just for the extra security. At the end of the day, no matter how many statistics you calculate, there is always an element of luck to this game. And so, as much as it sounds great to do one or the other first, and as much as I've explained here, unfortunately it won't always be successful. This is just a quick explanation on how to maximize your chances of having success with these top 7 searches.